how I press record and then I fix whatever is wrong with my hair. It needs moisture. I need more oil in my hair. Alrighty. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Kristen. This is my booktube. And in today's video, we are going to be doing a bit of a reading check-in / May TBR kind of video because I have been very busy over the last few weeks and there is no sign of it letting up. I'm actually going to be getting more busy, both inside of work and outside, for the next month and a half. So what I don't want to have happen is the same thing that happened in November, where I just got so busy that I stopped posting at all for a month and a half. I don't want to do that again. So I'm going to try my best to film even a little reading check-in or something like that each week. So if the videos are a little shorter, my apologies for that. But I am so insanely busy right now that I'm gonna do what I can to keep posting. But if the posts are late or they are rather short videos, you'll just know that that's the reason why. I'm just inundated with a lot of things right now. I'm still hoping that I can get to some of the videos that I wanted to get up in the next few weeks, but we'll have to see what I'm actually able to accomplish in this very busy time for me. So I say that this is a reading check-in / May TBR because I am creeping into a bit of a reading slump, and that does tend to happen when I get more busy. When I start to get really busy and overwhelmed, it becomes harder for me to sit down and read because I just have all of the things that I should be doing floating around my head while I'm reading, and then I find it very hard to actually focus on the book that I'm reading. So basically, I'm just going to be talking about where I am currently in my readings and what my plans are to get back on track to my reading goal for the year. I am currently sitting at 2 books behind schedule. I believe I'm 1,000 pages behind schedule and 17 hours of audiobooks behind schedule. So we're behind in all aspects right now, and I really want to catch up in the month of May. I want to finish the books that I've started. I have about 4 that I am in the process of reading right now. And then I also want to read more of the books that were on my April TBR. I don't think I really got to any of them in April. I have started on a couple of them, but I have not finished any of them. So that's really going to be the goal for the month of May, is playing catch up and hitting some of the books that I had on my April TBR that I just did not get to. So the books that I am partway through finishing that I really want to focus on knocking out pretty soon are my reread of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, because I wanted to reread that before I read Sunrise on the Reaping. I think I have about 4 hours left in that audiobook, so that should be pretty easy to knock out within the next few days, and then I can move on to Sunrise on the Reaping and actually get a new book in. And then after that, I probably will want to reread The Hunger Games because that's just how my brain works. Since it is a prequel to the initial trilogy and it probably will change the context of those 3 books, I have a feeling that I'm going to want to do a reread just to see if there's anything that jumps out at me during a reread after the context of Sunrise on the Reaping. So don't be surprised if you see the Hunger Games trilogy pop up on this channel, because I probably will end up doing a reread of that series. The next book that I started but have not finished is my Agatha Christie book, and not one by Agatha Christie. This is a book about Agatha Christie by Lucy Worsley. And this is a book that I was so excited when I first picked it up, but because I am physically reading it, I just have not sat down and picked it up all that much. I am about 100 pages into it, so it's not like I haven't started it at all. I've just been reading at a snail's pace, and I want to actually finish it. It's very interesting. It's not that the content of the book is boring at all. It's just one of those things where when I'm super busy, sitting down and physically reading is not really that feasible. I do want to keep trucking my way through that book because it is very interesting, and I'm getting to some really juicy bits. I'm about 10 pages away from the chapter on when Agatha Christie disappeared in 1926, and I'm very interested to see what Lucy Worsley has to say about Agatha's disappearance. So I'm very excited to get to that, and hopefully I can find more time to sit down and read this month. I know I say that a lot, and it is very difficult, especially when I'm busy, but since this is a book that I am really interested in and I do really want to read, hopefully it will be a little bit easier for me to carve out time to sit down and actually read. I am also going to try to start going to some buddy read Zoom calls with some of my friends at Accepted Society. I have not really been in any of those Zooms recently, not for any real reason other than the platform changed and it's a little confusing for me now, but I'm going to a little intro session in about an hour to learn how to navigate the new website. So hopefully that means that I can get back into joining some Zoom sessions. For me personally, having that accountability of being on a Zoom call with someone else while we're both carving out time to specifically sit down and read, or even just going to one of the study Zooms and making that my time that I want to dedicate to reading, I think that will just help me in general to actually stick to a reading schedule rather than me just telling myself, okay, I'm gonna wake up a little early and I'm gonna read from 8 to 9 a.m. on Saturday. And then me waking up at 8 and being like, I'd rather sleep in a little bit longer. I think that having that accountability of actually being in a Zoom call with other people will actually help motivate me to do my readings. It has worked in the past, so I'm hoping that it will work this time as well. Then the last two books that I am partway through but have not finished are both on my Kindle. One of them is The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez, and that is one that I borrowed from my library and I didn't read it fast enough, so it got returned, and that is the main reason why I haven't finished it, but I did just borrow it again, added it to my Kindle, so I should be able to finish that fairly quickly as well. I believe I'm about 60% of the way through when my loan expired, so I really don't have too much left in it, and I do really like Abby Jimenez's writing, and it was a very entertaining read while I had it from my library, so I don't think that'll be too difficult to finish, but I once again need to actually carve out time to sit down and actually read it. And then the last book that I have on my list of books that I am partway through but have not finished is The Roommate Situation. And I don't even know if I actually talked about this book when I started reading it, but I have been reading this book for a very long time. I actually forgot that I had it on my Kindle and that I was partway through reading it until I looked at my Goodreads and I saw that I still had this one just sitting in my currently reading section on Goodreads. So that is definitely one that I need to finish as well. And then aside from the books that I am partway through finishing, I do have other books that I really want to get to soon, like Onyx Storm and Heir of Fire. So there are a lot of books that I am backed up on right now. So instead of just like listing off a bunch of books that I would like to read in May, I just kind of wanted to give an overview of where I am currently and what I am focusing on at the beginning of May, and then I can hopefully do some periodic check-ins to let you know what I'm reading and how I'm feeling about it in between all of the chaos that I have going on around me right now. I have also been in a bit of a reading slump when it comes to thrillers specifically. I read the last one at the wedding in April and I was just very underwhelmed by it, so hopefully I can also find some thrillers that reignite that excitement for reading for me as well. I feel like when it comes to thrillers, I've just been chasing the high of The Only One Left by Riley Sager that I read in January. I think that was literally one of the very first books that I finished this year. And boy, oh boy, did that set the bar quite high for thrillers in 2025. And I don't think there have been many that have actually competed with The Only One Left. So hopefully we can turn that around. I don't have any specific thrillers in mind right at this very second, but I'm sure that I will gravitate towards some or find some that I will end up reading at some point in May, because no matter how hard I try, I can't stay away from the thriller novels. That is just the genre that I gravitate towards the most. It is my favorite genre. So even when I get burned by a not so great thriller, I still end up going back to them time and time again. And if I remember right, I do have a new Alex North book coming in my Book of the Month box for May, which I did really enjoy both The Shadows and The Whisper Man by Alex North. So hopefully this will also be a pretty good thriller as well. And maybe it'll set me off on an Alex North kick and I'll reread The Whisper Man or The Shadows. It's been a couple years since I've read either of those books, so those will be prime candidates for a reread if I so choose. but I would really like to push more for new books because I have been doing a lot of rereads this year. And that's like partly because I am reading new books in series that I have already read, or I'm just not really excited about many books that are coming across my feed, so I revert back to books that I have already read that I know that I like. So I want to kind of avoid adding on more rereads than the Hunger Games series that I'm going to reread, and then I probably will end up rereading Fourth Wing as well when I read Onyx Storm. I just feel like I got a lot of rereads going on, and I should probably push more to read new books instead. But yeah, so that is pretty much it for my little reading check-in / May TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and leave a like down below. Let me know. You should also subscribe while you're down there because I put out new videos pretty much every single week when my life isn't too chaotic to make it impossible. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! Yeah.